known past. So one common theme that kept cropping up was the physicality of these warriors and how armed to the teeth they are with weaponry. Every time you take a look at a picture of a barbarian, they've got axes, swords, polearms, as many weapons as they can carry. And we really love this fantasy for this class, and with that in mind, we've added the arsenal system. So the barbarian Diablo 4 will have 4 weapon slots and be able to use both one-handed and two-handed weapons in the same build. And I'm so excited about this level of customization and being able to equip 4 legendary items at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty much every barbarian's fantasy to finally see that arsenal that you're used to seeing on like those classic barbarian paintings come to life.
So you'll actually be able to assign items to each skill slot to add yet another layer of customization, and depending on what skill you use, the barbarian will automatically pull out the weapon that he or she needs, so combat will continue to be seamless on the battlefield. So we're carrying forward Fury to power the aggressive, physical, fast-paced attacks of the barbarian, but they'll also continue to pull the ancient magic of their ancestors to give them all that strength in combat on the battlefield. So let's take a look at the barbarian in action and some art.
Yeah, I love this piece. One of my favorites.
Some of the legendary sets we've got in the works.
Yes. Built-in blood.
This guy's ready for action.
All right, wait for it. You know what he's gonna do.
Yeah! It's like almost a hammer down moment.
Barbarian player, I love that the team's taking some of the things that were formerly elemental magic, and now it's just more blood.
Yeah, I think this is like every barbarian painting that I grew up with come to life, where it's just like, you know, wading into the crowd of enemies and just wreaking havoc.
All right, let's look at our next class.
All right, next up we have the Druid. Who all got to play a Druid in Diablo 2? How about any WoW Druid players? I think you guys are gonna like this guy, but first, I don't know if this little tidbit I'm gonna give you is going to reaffirm your faith in us or shake your faith in us, but we got something to share with you. The Druid was not part of our original lineup for Diablo 4. I know, it's my bad. That lasted about a day. Basically, one of our artists did this amazing piece of art, and then we went from like, I don't know, Druid, maybe we're making a Druid, 100% starting tomorrow, right now.
The power of art.
It's so great. It is a theme that the art inspires the design in this game. You see it with the Arsenal system, you see it with the Druid. So one of the things that we said is like, hey, we love the idea of the Druid. How do we move it forward? One of the things that we did is we took some of that fire magic that didn't feel like it met the fantasy of being someone in tune with nature, and we replaced it with storm magic and earth magic, and we feel pretty great about that, and we have it in the demo if you guys want to check it out. We kept his nature companions, like the wolves, the ravens, the vines, all of that. And then the thing that we feel is the kind of the special sauce is he's always been able to be this master shapeshifter. He can turn into a werebear, he can turn into a werewolf, and you know, it was pretty cool. You'd be a bear and spam shockwave. That was pretty awesome. But we decided to move that forward with Diablo 4, and now we have something we call seamless shapeshifting. What that means, if you truly want to embrace the hybrid nature of the class, you can start an attack in one form, and you'll begin animating as smooth and fluid as the Diablo 3 combat you've enjoyed so far. We're leveling that up. So mid-swing, you will transform into the correct form. So you'll press that button for a werewolf attack, you'll start animating caster form, finish it in werewolf form. If you're surrounded by enemies, you can conjure up a boulder, push those enemies away, and then turn back into a werebear and charge into them. It's really, really cool. I really hope you guys have the time to play the demo, check out the Druid. But enough of me talking, let's see that stuff in action.
That guy is not having a good day.
I love these sets.
Yeah, this was one of our first pieces we did for him when we were trying to figure out what was going to be so cool about him.
Crazy mountain man.
All right, look at those good boys.
Send your pets in, summon up some storm magic. Boom.
Yeah.
And don't worry if you've got a preferred form. You can just assign all your buttons to that form and just be a bear all the time if that's your druid fantasy.
And of course, Cataclysm just wrecks the battlefield.
Master of nature magic right there.
Yeah. You made a good choice about that art, I guess. It worked out. All right. The Sorceress, the Sorcerer is back. How exciting is that?
Heck yes.
Yeah. She is elemental carnage on the battlefield, whether it's chilling enemies and smashing with a fireball or transforming into a chaotic ball of lightning and just completely destroying the battlefield, teleporting around and just wreaking havoc. She is an unstoppable wrecking machine, wading through the hordes of monsters with the power of elemental magic. In a dark, oppressive world of Sanctuary, the Sorcerer lights up our dungeons. Like when we say we're returning to darkness, our dungeons are really dark. And the Sorceress lights it up in an amazing, fantastic way with our new engine and our new tech. And we're going to take a look right now.
That guy's about to eat a fireball to the head.
He's definitely questioning his life choices.
Pentagrams, of course.
Yeah, that classic D2 Sorceress.
I love that in addition to bringing the light show, gameplay-wise, you feel like a dungeon boss when you play a Sorceress. She has basically control over the battlefield with abilities like Blizzard, like Firewall, that basically make you feel like you are doing area of denial attacks on enemies. It's really cool.
Super exciting. All right, so how you look in a game like Diablo as you're laying waste to the hordes of hell is pretty important, don't you think? You guys want more options for customization than you've had in the past? Of course. And we agree. And we're offering levels of customization in Diablo 4 more than we've ever had before, and allow you to make that barbarian of your dreams, that druid of your dreams. And this is just a few options that we have here today in our demo to kind of show you what appearances look like. And then these are some concepts of also where we're going with this. We really want to give you kind of like a template, and you can build on that fantasy however you want. So if you want to customize the hair, the skin, the jewelry, the scars, the tattoos, those kinds of things. And we really wanted to, we have a lot of these that we're planning, and it's something we're really excited about. We think you guys will like it.
All right, but it's not just the appearance. Customization is at the core of Diablo, and what I mean with that is gameplay customization. And customization is back with a vengeance. We're bringing back some ideas and new ideas that we've become inspired from previous games. So we have a super happy. We're a little nervous. They're like, they're gonna like it. Yeah. So we have a trifecta of customization options with talent trees, with skill ranks, and with rune words. Rune words especially, we've taken inspiration from Diablo 2 and given it a fresh new interpretation. You'll get to hear all about it in our systems and feature panel tomorrow, or if you check it out on the demo. But the way that it works, it's super exciting that it's no longer like a secret recipe, but a little bit more freeform with triggers and effects. We're very excited to see the combinations that you come up with. But the message that we want to bring to you today is we want you to play the build that's inside your head. Not the build that I designed for you, but the build that you want to play. Because we realize that, your idea of a frost sorceress might be different than mine or John's. All right. Another thing that's new to Diablo 4 is the sense of world. It's a very big difference in how we've approached it from different installments. And we're coming at it from two angles, the fantasy and the gameplay. On the fantasy side, we knew we had kind of planted these seeds of, hey, the druid, we've told you he came from Skosglen, and we had shown little corners of Sanctuary that we knew you guys wanted to explore. But then on the gameplay side, we kept making a more or less linear game with Diablo before. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. And you guys kept wanting to approach it in a more open way, jumping around, killing stuff, and not following the rules. So with Reaper of Souls, we created adventure mode to kind of give you guys a taste of that openness. And it was really transformative. That was a moment where we learned a lot about how the game could be played and where we saw how you guys were approaching Diablo. So based on those learnings, we're making Diablo 4 open from the ground up. We're making an open world with a non-linear campaign so that you can be in charge of how you decide to level. If you're the type of player that wants to take breaks between the story and do some of the repeatable content, explore a little bit, do side content, stuff like that, great. If you're the type of player that wants to experience the story uninterrupted, you can still do that. So not only can you customize who your character is, you can customize their experience in Sanctuary.
Yeah, the world. This is something we're so excited about. I think when the concept team got a hold of this, this idea of this vast open world was really exciting, and what we would present to the players. Diablo levels have always felt a little bit like, corridors, or, I kind of skirt around the edges and work my way in towards the middle. But there was always that border that was a little frustrating. And I think like for this game, those borders are gone. And so on the concept team, when we were kind of imagining what this space would look like, we had to imagine what that would be. And so, what if the region itself was 10 or 20 times larger than any previous Diablo region? So big that mounts might actually be required to cross these distances. There's going to be 5 connected regions to explore with distinct geological and unique biomes. We will have the icy mountains of Fractured Peaks. We're really excited about this one. It's beautiful. We'll have the dark forests of Skosglen. And we're going to have the desolate grasslands of Dry Steppes. Sprawling deserts of Kyrgyzstan. Of course, we're going to go back to Kyrgyzstan. We're really excited about this. And then the foul swamps of Hawazar to explore.
Why can't they just be regular swamps?
Because they need to be foul. This is super important. Foul swamps. Sounds pretty dark, right?
So the world is also how you engage with other players in Diablo 4. So we'll have social hubs in major towns. This is one from our demo. This is Korbach. And in these towns, not only is this where you pick up quests and talk to NPCs, you can also trade, ask someone about their gear, maybe investigate their build, take a look at how they customize their character or what awesome armor they're wearing. You might even be able to look for a group. And you might be wondering, why do I want to look for a group? Well, as you're exploring the open world, you'll come across world events. And our druid here is going to come up on one in a second. And you may not want to fight these events alone because they're a little bit tougher experiences, which I think is pretty exciting. All right, I'm gonna wait for this one to pop up. All right, here we go. So this was in the game trailer. This is Ashava. This is in our demo. I'm curious how many people Ashava is going to murder this weekend.
Anybody want to venture a guess? I'm guessing thousands, maybe. Everybody.
Everybody.
I like that.
Everybody
yeah,
here, yes.
Probably everyone that plays a demo is going to die to this. So, you can group up with other people. You'll be running around the world. You'll come across other players, and they'll be able to help you defeat this demon and get some awesome loot. That's why we fight demons, right? So I know what you're thinking. What if I don't really want to play with other people? Well, there will be areas of Sanctuary where players can opt into PvP, so you can just murder them instead. You'll be able to complete the entirety of Diablo 4 without ever necessarily engaging in these social activities. You can continue to crawl dungeons on your own or just form private parties of your own. But I'm really excited about what grouping and trading is going to do to the longevity of this game. And the most important thing for me for playing games these days is player stories. And I have so many of my own. And I'm curious, do you have any?
I mean, yeah, I love PvP, not because I'm a great PvPer. I'm like kind of middling, but it's the sort of thing where I don't remember a lot about other games, but I remember how I lost my hardcore characters in Diablo 2. and I lost my sorceress, basically. Someone befriended me. We did bail runs for a couple hours. I'm like, this person's pretty chill. My bags were full after killing Bale, so I went to town, took the town portal back to get the rest of my loot, and I don't know how, this person must have been telepathic or something, but they went hostile. Right as I was loading, I loaded up to like 1 million firewalls, died in like a second, your deeds will be remembered, and that person really enriched my online experience, I must say.
Luis, I didn't realize we'd met before.
I'm not even mad. Maybe in Diablo 4 I'll finally get revenge. So.
All right, well, John and Luis talked about this expansive open world, and there will still be waypoints to travel around because we think that's really core to the fantasy of Sanctuary. With so much world to explore, we saw the opportunity to add a new feature, and that is mounts. So we took a very Diablo approach to this feature, both thematically from a gameplay perspective. So taking a look at this concept art right here, you'll be able to swap out the armor pieces, change the saddle, change, what's another? Armor?
Horseshoes.
Horse armor, and maybe swap out that fallen head for a different trophy. And not only does this add, aesthetic customization, but it also changes the gameplay. So if you're in PvP, and you're running away from a sorceress that's turned hostile on you, you may want to equip some items that decrease the damage that you take on a mount, or maybe make your mount go a little bit faster so you can outrun that firewall or outrun that blizzard, and keep your ears for another day. So it's really important that mounts feel grounded in this world. Everything that we add, you'll hear us say time and time again, for this to feel like a dark, grounded world. We want these mounts to feel at home in Sanctuary. So, John, I saw that you, on your desk, you had this picture of a rainbow unicorn.
That is not true. It was on fire. If it was on my desk, it was.
All right, that's why there's a fire horse.
Or dead, or flayed, or something.
So we'll have demon horses, flayed horses. This horse doesn't even have a face anymore. That feels pretty at home in the world of Sanctuary. And so these are the kinds of mounts that you can expect to ride around. Because Diablo is an action RPG, we want to get you back into the action as quickly as possible, and we want to do it with some flair. So we've added dismount abilities. Each class will have class-specific abilities that fit their fantasy perfectly. So if you're a sorceress and you just want to get off your horse like normal, you can still do that. Or you can turn into an ice storm and freeze everything in your path. So let's take a look at the barbarian and the sorceress and some of their dismount abilities in action.
What do you think? Are they chasing each other or are they friends?
I think they're about to kill each other.
Probably.
All right, check this out. Combo those dismount abilities. So I guess they're friends for now.
Don't trust them.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the world above ground, but we all know that really the cool stuff in Diablo happens below ground, in dungeons. You guys want to hear about dungeons? All right, well, we've added, like we have all this cool stuff above ground, but when we say return to darkness, that is a literal truth for a lot of our dungeons, and we are crafting some of the darkest, most evil spaces that you have ever explored in a Diablo game to find epic loot. And we're gonna show some of those right now. Let's take a look. Those are your people, Luis.
I love the first time I went to a dungeon in Diablo 4 and I realized I was at home was when the corners were dark. I'm like, oh, this just feels so right in a Diablo game. Right here, this. And if you play a class that brings the light show, here's where you see it.
Yeah, for sure. When the player's in there and you have that little pool of light around you and those dark corners, it just feels like home.
And of course, we should reassure you these are fully randomized. We're building up on our know-how from D3. It's basically DRLG 2.0. Our dungeons continue to be randomized. And not only that, but we have new features that in tomorrow's panels you'll get to check out.
And also exterior dungeons as well that are randomly generated.
So there's one thing I'm not seeing here, John.
Really? Did we leave something out?
Where do we usually go in a Diablo game?
Where do you guys want to go in Diablo? Yeah, of course we're going to hell.
Handbasket.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Diablo without going to hell, right? And we're doing it, and we're really excited about it. We don't have it here today with us, but I guarantee you in the future when you see it, we're going to really do it a very strong service. Yeah.
All right, so what good would all of this world and all of these dungeons be if we didn't have cool stuff to kill? So as a former quest designer, it really excites me to do a big world RPG in the world of Diablo and finally get into the backgrounds, the backstories, and how all the pieces fit together. Like the Fallen, for example, in the demonology, how they fit in. They're at the lowest rung of basically that demonic hierarchy. All the other demons just crap on them. They get the crumbs of the human remains that are left, maybe some bones. They just take in all this insane cruelty, and then they just reflect it back into the world. That's why you have like fallen lunatics that are just ready to blow up, and like these wicked weapons with spikes, and they just look like cruel, miserable creatures. But it all comes from them taking all this cruelty in. So, let's think that.
You're kind of making me feel bad for the Fallen. I want to kill these guys and take their stuff.
Well, hopefully not too bad, but think about that next time you're killing Bish Bosh or Rakanishu. But it's not just the iconic and genre-defining monsters of Diablo, like the Fallen. We also...
Yeah, we got some new stuff.
We got lots of new stuff, because we're exploring parts of the world that we've never been to. So here's just one example, one taste. This is the Drowned. They are undead that comes from the oceans. They're linked to ancient maritime curses and stuff like that. So as we move forward, we're going to keep exploring these families and how they fit into the world and how they work together as a family. So they have mechanics where they amp each other up and they're bigger than the sum of their parts.
Yeah, I love the Drowned. Seeing them come out of the coastline, which you'll see in today's demo, is really striking.
All right, and then what good would all these monsters be if they weren't dropping awesome stuff? So items are one of the most important elements of Diablo, if not the most important. We're really leaning into legendaries as opening up build possibilities. We realize that with D3, we maybe emphasize sets a little bit too much, and we want to make sure that we leave room for legendaries moving forward so that we have build variety and that we don't overstep on that customization. Sets will continue to be there, but they won't dominate. Even non-legendary affixes will also lean into customization. We will have affixes that will improve your skill ranks, and we'll have affix that will improve your passive talent ranks. And we hope that will further differentiate your build from my build. And then, great. And then also, we're just building in our tools, our pipelines, and our know-how, and we're bringing even more legendaries than ever to the table.
Yeah, we're making so many legendaries, and these are just a few of them here. And actually, you're going to get to see some of them at the show today, which is pretty cool.
Super excited. That spiked one right there is my favorite.
How are you supposed to hold that?
You bleed.
It looks like it'd give you tetanus.
All right, so there is much, much more to come. A game of this scope takes time. This is a very, very early first step. We're not coming out soon, not even Blizzard soon. We're just excited to take this first early step in the journey together with you. We have a demo ready for you guys to play back there. We have 3 classes, our first 3 classes. We're going to have 5 when we ship. We also have 3 dungeons, lots of events, including the world event that Tiffany described, and a very small sliver of Scotland, which in itself is just a small region of the world. Please give us feedback. We want to hear what you liked, what you didn't like. Again, this is just the first step in the journey. And then if you can't be here, if you're watching over the internet at home, we have streams both days. We've partnered, we've partnered with streamers where you can go experience the demo vicariously. And then we also have a website live with info. And we're on the hook now with you guys to update that website on a quarterly basis with a weblog to keep you up to date as to how we're going in the development.
All right, so yeah, right? That's super exciting. All right, so we have so many things for you to see at the show. Luis talked a lot about the demo. I'm going to talk about stuff beyond the demo. It's crazy. So there is literally a 12-foot tall Lilith in the front of Hall D.
I can see her.
Yeah, I know. I can literally see her from here. It's absolutely crazy.
Right there.
Built by the incredible Steve Wang and his incredible team. We have a slightly smaller version of Lilith, crafted by our very talented sculptors, which you will also see at the show. We have brought artifacts from the world of Diablo on display at the Dark Gallery. The Dark Gallery is kind of a first time of doing something like this. We've brought a piece of Sanctuary here, filled it with artifacts. Some of them are made by our team. We've had some other people chip in, and it's really something pretty extraordinary, and we're excited for you to see it. We also have the artist Brahm here, who created the cover to Diablo 2, yeah, is that right? And did many beautiful paintings for Diablo 3. And he was also, basically, he'll be here signing prints. He painted Lilith, that'll be in the Dark Gallery. So yeah, please stop by, get a poster signed, nerd out with us about all the things that we're going to be doing in the future, and share your stories.
All right, I gotta give one more plug to the Dark Gallery. It's like a really messed up museum. There's also a cultist sacrifice going on in there, so if you're really big on taking photos, you can go get sacrificed on an altar. So just a suggestion, if you have some free time, go into the Dark Gallery, check out some art, maybe get sacrificed.
Yeah, that guy's terrifying.
Yeah.
Send that picture to your friends and relatives, freak them out a little bit.
Yeah, you came to BlizzCon and you got sacrificed. That's, true Diablo fans.
All right, we touched on a lot of things today really briefly, but you can find out way more at our other panels this weekend for Diablo 4. So starting off tomorrow morning, there will be a live art demonstration from Diablo 4 artists if you're interested in seeing how we create character assets for the game. So that's over in the Dark Moon Fair, and that's at 10 a.m. on the Epic stage. If you're interested in learning more about the systems and features, because we just touched really lightly on them this morning, if you're interested in learning about the classes, the skills, monsters and bosses, dungeons, items, check out that Systems and Features panel tomorrow right here on the stage at 12:15. If you're interested in learning more about the world that we're building and all the characters and where they're going and how we even got here, check out the World and Lore panel, also on the stage tomorrow afternoon at 3:15, and learn more from our World and Lore team. And last but not least, all this beautiful art. If you want to take a look at that, and listen to a multidisciplinary discussion on our approach for returning to darkness in Diablo, come to the art panel with John and some artists.
That's going to be so much fun.
Awesome
Yeah.
artists. On the legendary stage tomorrow afternoon at 4:15. So these three latter panels will have Q&A. So we would love to hear your questions and answer them. We're actually, you can actually submit a question physically here over at the demo station. There's a little box. You can write your question on a card and drop it into that box. Or if you're watching online, you can tweet at us at #D4QA. We'll be going through those questions, picking the best ones, and answering those in our panels.
Don't be afraid to ask hard questions. I know there's a lot of speculation that we won't. We'll take them. So give us some hard questions. All right. So, like we mentioned at the beginning, this is a stacked BlizzCon. What do the airlines say? We realize you had a choice of demos and presentations. We're really, really happy that you came to see us and hear what we had to show you, to say and show you. So thank you. We three represent a very, very passionate team, and we want you to know that we have our team staffing the area, the demo area, and the Dark Gallery. That you'll see us wearing the blue shirts. Please stop by, talk to them, let them know what you liked, what you didn't like, share your Diablo stories, ask them what their favorite class is. Maybe you let them know what classes you like and don't like. We're just super excited to just nerd out with us and finally be able to share what we've been working on with you guys. So on behalf of the entire Diablo team, once again, thank you all, and we'll see you in hell.
Thank you.
Thank you for attending Diablo 4 Unveiled. Coming up, Overwatch, what's next?